Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Pitch Guys, the podcast with infinite ideas and zero execution. In this episode, we offer up our comprehensive guide to parenting. And with the combined experience of two fathers and a cat lover, we will cover it all from infancy all the way through to those turbulent teen years. And since this is an entire episode dedicated to the art of parenting, my first piece of advice to you is that you isolate yourselves in a room, walk-in freezer, or any generally soundproof area away from your kids so that they don't have to hear this. It's not for them. You're welcome, parents. Hey guys, it's time for another episode of Pitch Guys. How are you all doing today?
I'm thriving.
Just dandy. Excited to be here.
It's great.
Big as life.
You know, lots of feedback coming in over the past few weeks, and
Tons.
One of the things that I've heard from a few people recently are a couple of requests.
Ooh.
I have a few people who have mentioned to me that it'd be great if we could shed some light on that really important topic of parenting.
Parenting.
Oh.
So
That Rubik's Cube.
I thought that we'd take it on. I know I was parented.
Yes.
And were you guys? Or
Yes, I was. I did
To an
experience
extent.
parenting.
Yes.
Yes.
So, and things have changed, right? I
Right.
mean, the way that you parent your kids compared to the way that you were parented.
Right.
It's
different.
It's quite different, I think.
I guess, yeah.
Well, I don't think that I would ever allow my kids to just sit in that top little part of the back seat of the Thunderbird without a seatbelt on while you're driving down the road.
No.
Riding backwards in a station wagon.
With all of the windows closed and both parents with a lit cigarette in their mouths. Times were different.
Things have changed.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Yep.
But I thought we might maybe talk about our credentials and the experience that we have. I think that between the three of us here, we have many, many years of experience of parenting. And I'll start with myself.
Excellent.
So
Okay.
I actually realized I was thinking about this today. I have been a parent for 20 years.
Wow.
And yes, my oldest son was born in 1999. So he's 20 years old now.
Apparently,
And-
you're quite old.
Yes, maybe.
1999. That was a while ago.
Maybe we had him when I was 16.
You were.
But,
Yeah, okay.
You're a risky
That's
business.
possible. Who knows?
So he's 20 and he's in his third year of university. And then I have another boy who is 18 and he's just started his first year of university. So my wife and I have recently found ourselves in the whole empty nest stage of parenting.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that I do have some credential to talk about parenting.
Mm-hmm.
How
You
about
definitely do.
How about you, Derek?
Well, I also am in the spectrum, but I would say maybe on the opposite end. I have a 4.5-year-old. He's attending preschool. And I've got a 1.5-year-old. I guess he would technically be 20 months if you're a month person.
Very specific.
Yeah.
And I don't know when you switch from months to something else.
I still go
Yeah, when
months
you
for
get to
myself.
24.
Yeah, well, I was looking for like socks for my 4-year-old the other
Yeah.
day, and it was like these socks are good until 82 months, and I had to
you're
be like, I
joking,
had
right?
to pull it. No, it was like 36 to 82, and I had to figure, okay, how many is 82 months? This is ridiculous.
So maybe that's something you should just carry forward. Forget the year.
yeah, I want to be announced in months.
I tell people my age in months still just to
Yeah.
confound the white
I would
man.
have to figure that out, and it would
Yeah.
take a little bit, but that's really
152
interesting.
months old.
So
I don't
you
know.
have two boys.
two
And
boys.
Oh,
I
good for
have
you.
two boys.
Look at that. Hey, that's a good
crazy.
thing. That's
Like-
like, they're like a generation apart.
I
guys are
I
very
didn't realize
similar.
actually how much we had in common.
There we go. That's quite
Yeah.
a lot.
I didn't
That's
either.
super.
Yeah.
So how about you, Trevor?
Well, this is definitely not as much as you two. Like, this is a little awkward because wish you'd run the topic by me a
That's
little
okay.
early.
You got some experience, all right?
As it turns out, let me see here. I have there was a short stint where I was raising a Sims family.
Okay.
That was in the early 2000s, and then
How did you do with the family? That's what's important.
they spoke a bunch of gibberish while they ran around on fire, and one wouldn't get off the floor.
All right. That sounds like parenting.
Yeah, so kind of not good, but
Yeah.
I did it.
So you,
And that was before the DLC, so it was a harder time to parent Sims back then.
so,
Yeah. Don't make light of my plight.
So You're saying that all of your parenting knowledge comes from playing The Sims.
Well, hold up.
Okay.
Right now, I have an extremely adorable and precocious, just keeps your hands full, cat.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a house cat.
Well,
Yeah.
that's close.
Yeah, I sometimes he has mishaps with the litter.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Gotta
have
clean
to
up
correct
after
him. So,
Okay.
I mean, that's parenting, right?
Well, the cool thing here is that we really, I guess, that we represent all
Spectrum?
spectrum,
Ranges?
or
Ranges
like
on the spectrum?
all ranges of parenting, from
Yeah.
not yet having a child to the bond that
Pre-parent.
Derek and I have just discovered that we have.
I think I'm a pre-parent.
A pre-parent.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're
Okay.
pre-parenting.
So we're all kind of parents.
You're a
Yeah.
pre-parent, you're an early parent,
Yeah.
and I'm a mature parent.
Yeah, okay.
The main thing is all three of us together are important.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part.
Some
Like,
with more experience than others, but
yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
We value you.
I mean,
That's right. You had Sims.
I don't think
so-
you need
Yeah.
to say you value me.
No.
That's
No,
a
okay.
weird thing
We'll
to
just leave it at that.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well,
So-
let's get into it, I guess.
Okay. Well, I think it's probably easiest for us to do this just chronologically, begin from those early days. And,
Yes.
it'll probably be difficult for me because it's been many, many years
Mm-hmm.
since I had a baby in the house.
Mm-hmm.
But let's begin about parenting advice for if you have a baby.
Okay.
So, where do we want to start? A lot of people talk about baby names
Yeah.
and what you should name your baby and what's acceptable, etc. So,
When I'm naming my virtual characters, I find that's the most frustrating thing. It seems like right now there's a bit of a trend where there's a few trends. One is people are going back to really old-fashioned names.
Mm-hmm.
You got your Henrys and your Margarets and your Glorias, right? I've run into a few of these kids,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I like that. I like the traditional names. A lot of them are really English names too. And then you have another trend where people are just making up words.
yes,
Like they're just even spellings of names. They just make them up.
Mm-hmm.
They're adding like 3 vowels where one would do.
Right.
It's just creative spellings that make absolutely no sense.
Yeah, like Kaylee with 6 E's.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what you never hear? Like if you're talking about traditional old names,
Yeah.
I have not heard a kid named Adolf in years.
No,
For some reason.
Yeah, it's strange. You think it would have made a
Yeah.
kickback by now.
Yeah.
My wife was really keen for our second child. She wanted to name him Hamish.
Oh,
And
wow.
I was worried about that just because, I feel like, I would identify as Caucasian, but I feel like Hamish would probably be like the whitest name I could probably name my kid. And then
It's
that
kinda
would
Amish
just-
sounding.
I was going to say, is it not Jewish? I could be totally off.
I don't know. I
Oh,
just
you might be right. But
Yeah.
the kids would have called him Hamish on the
Hamish,
playground.
yeah.
And then it would
Or
turn into
Hammy.
like
Yeah.
ham
Yeah.
piss.
Yeah.
You know?
So
would've got out of
we
hand.
just went away from that. So
Yeah. I was almost named Titus.
Titus,
Yeah. I got a ancestor named Titus.
really?
And it's Roman and it means strength.
And that would have been shortened to tit, and then
Yeah.
with-
Or tight ass.
Titus, which would be accurate.
So my parents weighed the pros and cons of it.
True.
And they went with Trevor.
True.
For a human of your age, it seems odd that your parents were actually contemplating the name Titus. Just
Well,
doesn't seem.
It seems like more of a
Sometimes-
now thing that
Yeah,
you would see,
exactly.
but
Well, sometimes you want to carry on a family name.
that's
you
true.
know.
That's true.
And
Did you guys do family names?
You mean like a carry-on a family?
Yeah, like do you have like family names in your history? Like there's like people who like George is like a family name that's carried on from again and again and again.
We didn't do that, but my background is Welsh, so
Yes.
we did try to name both of our boys with
With
a
Welsh names.
Welsh first name.
Oh, okay. Not
That
like
makes sense.
super long, difficult to
Right.
pronounce names, but just
You're not
Welsh
Transylvanian.
names.
No, not
Okay.
at all. Yeah.
We went for like middle names after grandfathers kind of
Yeah.
thing,
Oh,
but
nice.
but other than that, it was freestyle.
Sure.
We want a simple name at first, and then after that,
Did
we
it freestyle name, like naming freestyle?
well we had to like
Beatbox their names.
I wanted everybody to come in and like give us a name, like hold and look at the kid and give us a name, tell us what the
Right.
name is, but that got vetoed. So we went with a name that we could both agree on, that we hadn't met anybody in our real lives that we didn't care for that had that name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, did you have them picked out before the babies were born, or
Our second child went nameless for like 2 days while we debated things.
2 days.
Yeah, it was like.
What did you call your baby in that time?
It was just called.
Just like, hey,
it was like its nameplate was just like baby.
Dependent
You
too.
know, so the nurses were kind of like tapping their fingers, like, "Can we get on this, people?" We're like, we need some time.
Yeah. Well, you only had 9 months. But,
Yeah. Well, you know, we were like surprise people, like we didn't know the gender ahead of time,
Yeah.
and so I was like, I want to see the kid, and then a name is going to come to me. But
Right.
then it was like, okay, I got to think about it some more.
And then you get the people that are really into going for the like sci-fi or fantasy geek type name,
Like
you
named
got-
after something.
Yeah, like there for a period there were all these Anakins, right?
yeah.
And
I have met 3 Dr. Zaiuses.
Right.
It's getting out of hand.
Khaleesi is a great one.
Oh, it
Yeah,
was
I've
until
seen
the
that
final,
recently.
final season.
Yeah, things didn't quite go the way they
No.
thought they were going to go.
Yeah.
Mother of Dragons to just
so-
Psycho.
You said your boys were 1999. I'm surprised you didn't
Yeah.
go with like Neo or something. You know, that
Considered
would have
it,
been. You know.
considered it, but no, we
Everyone
went
was named
very
Kevin.
traditional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we played it pretty safe.
Okay.
That being said, my wife is Korean, as I've mentioned in past episodes. So we gave an English first name, and then we went with a Korean middle name.
Okay.
Just to kind of match those
Cool.
cultures.
Cool.
I got some good name ideas.
Oh, you got some more names.
yeah, well,
Okay.
let's hear 'em.
Okay. Hold
Like,
on.
I know I haven't had to name a biological human yet.
Oh, okay.
but
Yeah.
I do have some.
Yeah. Okay.
You've named cats, though,
Named
right?
Cats.
I don't name pets human names because I don't want to confuse myself emotionally.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Yeah. We'll hear your ideas.
Okay, well, here's some that I just kind of came up with on the fly. And they're kind of named after things, but I think maybe some of the best names are named after things. Turmeric.
Okay.
I think that could be a good name for a boy.
As in,
Okay.
as in a tumor?
No,
As
like
in
the
the
spice.
spice. Turmeric.
Oh, okay, yes.
Okay.
I also
thought it was
like.
Tumor Rick.
oh,
That's like a
words.
double name.
okay.
Hey,
back-
I'm Tumor Rick.
oh, Pickle Rick.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back to the drawing board on that one. I've always liked Copernicus. I
Okay.
think that'd be all right if you want to go the old-fashioned route.
So
Yeah.
basically,
you kind of pigeonholed into
one of the things that's really important is when you hear these name pitches, you figure out how people are going to bully that kid. So that's just going to become Caspermicus.
Oh, yeah.
Or you do
just
have to run it through the bully filter ahead of time. What are they going to call this kid?
He'd probably go by Nick just to have a normal life, but I like to challenge him that way.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, so there's a pitch in there, and the idea is you have an app that you can run your weird, wacky name
Oh,
through,
yeah.
and it will tell you all the ways your kid is going to get made fun of.
Right.
Yeah.
It'll have a huge database.
Right.
that
Yeah.
People can register. And
Right.
Yeah, I was named Copernicus.
It could be even like a crowdsourcing things for like middle school kids who could just like come, you know, they could just sit. A name pops up and they just write all the ways they would make fun of that kid and it would
You
go
hire
into
them.
the database.
You're
Yeah,
paying them.
they're like programmers,
Yeah.
but just they make fun of names
Here's a pitch.
as a help to society.
Yeah.
Here's another one along those lines. What if we had like hospitals that all had an agreement policy where they would fake ask for the name and then 2 days later they'd give the parents a mulligan or a do-over just in case they sobered up or came to their senses?
It's a good idea.
I think we'd have some better spelled names then
That's
or
a
better
good idea.
choices. Celebrities, maybe we have like surrogate namers, you know, like other people who name celebrities kids for them because they're not hitting it out of the park.
When you go to the hospital, if you have a previous kid, they ask, "What'd you name your first kid?" And if
Yeah.
it's like Fire with like a YEIRE
Like the
or something,
festival.
then they're like,
We'll
"Yeah,
get you a surrogate name.
yeah, well, we're gonna hire someone for you." Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, okay,
I got some more names.
Okay.
Lobster bisque.
okay.
I don't even need to invent how they're going to make fun of that.
I don't think it's a good name for a child, but I think it's just I want lobster bisque.
Okay,
I think it's tasty.
you just like podcasting.
And then I
hungry
came
right
up
now.
with a few products that sound like people to me.
Okay,
Aveeno sounds like a girl,
okay.
Actually, there has to be some of those out there.
maybe.
Mhm. Could you
And-
get sued if you name your kid after like a trademarked
Well,
name
there were
from somebody?
parents who were trying to get companies to pay them to name their kids after products like
Oh, wow.
Pepsi.
It's
There was
like
a,
product
yeah.
placement
Yeah.
there.
yeah,
If you named your kid Taco Bell,
right. There was a bidding
then-
war. Yeah, for the
Wow.
naming rights.
Wow. Would you have to
and
put a
then
TM after your name every time you signed it?
I think you would. Yeah.
Yeah.
you just change the emphasis so it's more like Tacobal.
When you sign your grade 1 tests, you have to put TM after your name on your tests.
That would be a funny way to like come up with names though that are like regular names but
Tacobal?
pronounced completely
Sounds actually pretty
yeah.
good, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Tacobal.
Tacobal. but it's spelled Taco
If you
Bell.
name your child Tacobo,
Kentucky Fried Chicken. No, I
Please let
can't
us
do
know.
that one.
Wendis.
What's that?
Wendis.
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 Wendis. My last one was Robitussin. That sounds like it'd be like a jock guy, you know? I'm Robitussin.
They just call him
Play
Tussin.
hockey.
Yeah.
He'd go by
He'd
Tussin.
be called Tussin
Yeah.
or Tussin.
Yeah. Or Rob.
Rob.
Tussie. Tussin sounds a lot better than Tussie. Hey, Tussie.
Well, maybe if it's England, he's like, hey, Tussie.
Right, Tussie.
Tussie.
Yeah, you better be careful.
What accents are you guys doing?
Pitch that football over here.
Tussie? Yeah.
That sounds Australian.
All right.
Yeah.
Pitch that football over here.
It's a ambiguous
that sounds
British
pedophile.
/ Australian / New Zealand accent. If you have one of those accents, we'd welcome you to school us on it.
It seems like we've really helped parents with the naming.
Yeah,
thing.
we've done a lot of work on
This
names.
is,
So let's move on.
Yeah. Here. What about like baby toys? It's been a long time.
Yeah. That's a racket.
One of the things, not so much a toy, but I think there's a big debate about this. To use a pacifier or a soother or to not use one.
Oh.
And I mean,
What did you do?
we used it and it was a goddamn lifesaver on many, many an occasion.
Like the candy.
No.
Like literally, like someone threw you a
used a
lifesaver.
rubber pacifier, but
fake-
it saved your life.
Yeah, you know.
You didn't give him a
Fake-
lifesaver.
I thought you just
Fake
put candy in
nipple.
a kid's mouth.
Fake nipple.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
A
And
fipple.
it's, I think we used it and it saved us many times and kept the peace in our house when we needed it. How about you?
Initially, we were like, we're not gonna use them because I don't know. We were like that, and then we're like, oh man, we wish that the boys would take them. But both of our boys, they'd like take it, and then after like 3 seconds, they'd spit it out and be like, give you a face like, what the hell is this? This is
that's
not the
not a real
thing.
nipple. This is not authentic.
Yeah, they would spit it out right away. So, they to this day, neither of them ever took one. They just
That's good.
like screamed and.
I never thought
Got
about
mad.
using one with my cat.
Yeah,
You should try it.
you could.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. You mentioned like you had intentions to not use it and then you tried it. When you start parenting, you are very ideal about what you're going to do. And I remember my wife and I were on this. We are going to use cloth diapers.
We had the same thing.
I have a wife.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'm glad
Yeah.
to hear that. But maybe just listen to this section since you don't have the relevant.
Well, we all have a wife.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
true.
true.
We do all
have a wife.
Okay.
Yeah. But so we're going to use cloth diapers. I think we lasted a month,
condescending.
maybe a month and a half.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing.
Yeah, we bought like a trial pack
Yeah.
and a sprayer for the toilet. And we're like, yes, we're going to go environmental.
Yeah.
We watched like the story of Stuff or something and saw how much we're going to contribute to the landfill. And we're like, screw that. We're going to do better. And then after like 3 weeks of like spraying out poop into the toilet, we're like, no, this is not going to happen. We're just going to throw this away.
Oh. Well, and then for people that are a lot lazier, they invented the diaper genie.
Yeah.
Did you have a diaper genie?
We still have a diaper genie.
Trevor, do you know what a diaper genie is?
I assume it's a genie that is feces based.
Yes.
Yes. He's made
Grants wishes that are gross.
He's made entirely of actually, and he'll just, hey, you get another wish.
Here's some corn.
The diaper genie is like a waste bin
Yeah.
that you deposit your diaper into, and then you
Right.
give it a little twist, and it isolates it so that you don't have to smell it or deal with
So
it.
it's
Yeah,
airtight.
it seals it in.
Yeah.
Until like something happens and you realize you were really tired one night when you tied the diapers up,
Yeah.
and then you pull the thing out to take to the garbage, and they all land up in the
yeah.
like living room, and you're just
Oh, I think we all know the
cussing
pain of
everything.
that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Oh my gosh! But there's only so long you can go. You've
Yeah.
got to empty them.
Yeah, you do. You do
Yeah.
at some point.
So doesn't the pacifier warp your kids' teeth?
They say
That is the thing.
They-
Apparently,
Isn't
they
the
do
orthodontist? Do you think they invented them?
possibly.
Like it's a
It's
racket?
a conspiracy.
I don't know. See, that's the question. Like even with bottles, we used bottles with our first son because he was too small, and
I fed
we
my
had to give
cat
him
with a
stuff.
bottle once.
and it was like, do you buy this bottle that's cheap, or judgment from everywhere else? Are you a good parent and you're going to buy this bottle topper that's like $25 a topper? And you're like, well,
Wow.
am I a good parent or am I not a good
More
parent?
than an
It's
Xbox
like,
game.
I feel like as a parent, no matter what, you're like, no matter what you do, you're doing it wrong. So
Yes.
that's with the internet
And
now.
the judgment
you know,
that comes from other parents.
yes, that is
right?
true.
Is there a way that you could make a better, more natural pacifier? What if you had people, when they died, would donate their nipples?
Wow.
Right? And then you could somehow graft those and
I think there's got to be something horrific about having your child use a mummified human flesh nipple.
from a 90-year-old woman.
Or interspecies.
I don't know how you would turn. It would be like, I don't know, like a beef jerky. Like, how would you make that so it wouldn't disintegrate?
Okay,
I think it's horrific.
let's abandon taking nipples from corpses. Maybe they've got Beyond Meat right now. They could somehow make a vegetable-based nipple.
Soy-based, yeah. Maybe. Okay. Now, one thing that
I'm an uncle.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for me, it's fun to buy my nephews and nieces really loud toys
yeah,
because I know they'll love them and I
Yeah.
don't have to deal with the consequences of them.
this is
You
true.
guys have you got like uncles and aunts who buy your kids just the most annoying toys on the earth.
I did that for my nieces,
Uh-huh.
and then now I am being gifted back the loudest, most annoying toys, and so it was fun. But now I'm getting kicked back.
I like when
for
they
that.
repeat the same 3 phrases over and over 1,000
Yeah,
times.
there's one toy that's gone through a bunch of different families and it's been left out in the rain. Like parents have deliberately tried to destroy it. It's kind of like
my first Ouija board.
it's kind of like the box.
That's the magical swear box.
It's kind of like the magical square box where no matter what has happened to it, it just like the batteries never die. It's
That's
been
an
around
old
for 15
episode
years long.
nod.
You know, so
Yeah. What's that episode?
Go back
2?
to episode 1.
1.
Episode 1.
magical square box.
So what about baby proofing your house?
Yeah.
Man, oh man, the only thing I remember is, well, 2 things. One was putting the little plastic plugs into all of the electrical outlets.
Right.
And then also putting up some sort of guards so my child wouldn't go flying down a set of stairs.
Right.
What if will your baby just pull plugins out and then stick their fingers in though?
They're not that strong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
They're tough to get out.
They're weak.
We had we had that. We had the stairs. We had like the drawers, but they're almost more annoying because you can't get into them. We had one on the stove, like this thing that blocked the stove, so the kids couldn't reach under the stove. But my son and I broke it, pretending that we were like he was using the force and knocking me over.
Yeah.
So
You
so we
guys have
broke
fun,
it.
it sounds like.
Yeah, it's a good time. You know, there's a lot of bonding between father and son.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Well,
hard to describe. Now, one thing, I mean, this is kind of as a parent, you know, driving around, I found that to be a bit of an issue. And so thinking about ways, like sometimes you need a break from your kid. As a new parent, as a new father, I felt like every once in a while I was adjusting to this new life with this loud human being. And now that I have 2, I know like when I'm trying to get a break, one thing that I wish
You hide from your child?
not hide, but you know, one thing I wish we would have would be, you know, like a parent divider that you could bring down.
Like in a
Because
limo?
my second son just copies everything my first son does. And if he laughs at all, my first son gets an audience.
Yeah.
And so they'll be just like, one will screech and the other one will screech. And I'll have a screech competition back and forth. And so if I could just, as we're driving into town, if I could just, you know, like put a plexiglass divider up to
Compartmentalize.
yeah, so I just like I have a cone of silence. I'm okay. The boys are fine back there. You know,
Yeah.
I can see them.
Yeah.
Maybe just mute it so I can still hear them if they're screaming.
Now, well, you have a truck, right?
yeah, I have a truck and a
Well,
and
I've
a
got
car.
the solution for you. You
What's
just
that?
get a truck camper,
There we go.
and you just put them back there
They're
to
in the
play, and they
camper.
can have
Yep.
fun.
Boys
Right?
play in the
They can-
camper. It's a good idea. Put them on like a tether strap or something. You can put your dog
put
on.
bubble wrap all around it to baby proof it.
Now, I only say that because when I was young, that was totally allowed.
Yeah.
Wow.
We went back and would play in the truck camper while we were driving up to the lake on
Yeah.
weekends. Parents would have their time. And
Yeah. My wife tells stories about how they had just a cap on the back of the truck.
Yes.
And they would just line it with foam and
Yeah.
they would just ride up to the lake, like 3-hour drive to the lake, just hanging out in the back of the truck.
and it was grand.
Yeah.
I did that.
Yeah,
as
it was
well.
delightful.
It was great.
Yeah.
So safety standards.
We do not
are a little
condone
bit
this.
Lower.
Yes.
Some
No,
generations
exactly.
have thrived despite brain damage.
So they get past the.
You got a cold? Stay over there.
It happens when you have children.
Happens every once in a
Sometimes
while.
you get sick. They pass it on to you.
I get
So-
sick sometimes too.
But
Yeah.
you know what? I heard Schuster's has this new thing that I can try later
Schuster
on. So-
supplements?
Yeah, they
Oh,
got
we've
this
got
new
a-
thing that
We've got a pitch coming up, or a shameless plug for that.
Yeah,
actually,
maybe I'll give her a shot. Maybe
we really need to thank them for coming on board.
They've done a lot.
Awesome.
They've done a lot.
Awesome support from them.
Hold your breath. We'll get back to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we get past the baby stage and we get to a toddler stage.
That's true. You have a baby and then you have a toddler.
Yeah,
That's usually the way I find it goes. Yeah.
What's the difference? How does this change? How do you deal with like a 2-year-old to like a 3-year-old to a 4-year-old? How do you deal with that?
I cross the street.
This has got to be an easier question for you to answer. It's been a long time. I do remember that stage.
Yeah.
I have no clue how we dealt with it.
So people would say like the terrible twos, and when my first son was 2, it was like, what are you talking about? This is delightful. He's fine. And now that he's like 4.5, I'm just like, someone said once upon a time, like terrible twos, but you got to really be careful for the fours, and that's what I'm in right now, and it's definitely worse.
It's all alliteration.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like my first son was more of a rule follower, but my second son, he just deliberately, he knows that he's just there to like just mess around and cause trouble no matter what.
He's an agent of chaos.
He is.
Oh.
He is. That'd be a good T-shirt.
Like a young Loki.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is there a thirsty threes?
Thirsty.
I don't know.
They're really into rye at 3.
A wiggly one.
So
there's the fragile 50s.
Fragile 50s.
That's a little further down the road.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's definitely stages, and they will test you. And in all honesty, in all seriousness, I can say that it's worth it to stick to your guns in the long run. It makes a huge difference. You got to be persistent, and it's not easy. I don't think parenting is an easy thing.
Can't be that hard.
It is. Well, I know The Sims maybe wasn't.
If they let you down, you just reload a new family and you do your best. I did find they were easier when they were younger and they don't move so much.
Mm-hmm.
That's because all you were ever doing was tickling your Sims. You just have them tickling each other.
I want to hear that French-Canadian gibberish that they speak.
Yeah, I did have an idea once that, I mean, maybe if we had this party, like you could still come. It was like the parenting Olympics, where it was like everybody came. Some people without kids could come, but everybody would come and like bring a child that of preference.
What?
And you would. Are you familiar with Harry Potter?
What is this thing you call Harry Potter?
Well, there's this like film and books, and so when there's like the Wizarding Cup, they all like reach in and they pull out a dragon that they have to try to fight against or get the egg from. And I thought, this would be a thing where you could like reach in, pull out the name of a kid that's not yours, and you have to go through a variety of parenting tasks, like get them to take their medicine, put a diaper on them, get through bath time, convince them to eat their peas, like a variety of things that as a parent you're like, son of a, why won't you just do this? But like you get to try it with a different age, and then whoever can master it, I'm sure you would be a master with like 20 years of practice.
That's true.
But
I mean, I haven't diapered my sons in a long time. But
maybe you should do so you don't get rusty.
I could give it a try.
There's got to be some real
so you
pros.
Want people who don't even have parents to be involved with this?
Well, I mean,
you want to find people who don't have children but are also interested in Harry Potter culture to come and interact with other people's kids.
It's like a niche market. I'm saying they'd have to submit a criminal records check. They'd have to be part of the crowd. It's not just like random. I'm not putting it out on Reddit. Mm-hmm.
So all sorts of competitions with your children.
Yeah, just things that a parent would have to do. Get them into a car seat when they don't want to go into a car seat.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So
it's called strength.
Yeah.
Those are good ideas. Now, Trevor, you have something written down here that I don't really understand. You have a thing that you wanted to talk about. What? It has to do with the chicken pox party.
Yeah, I wanted to ask.
You could explain this to me.
I've heard about chicken pox parties.
Okay.
Where parents will deliberately, once they find out a kid is infected, they'll they'll expose their kid to that same kid just to infect them with a disease, so it's not so bad when they get older. Is this still something that happens?
I don't know. That happened with me when I was a kid.
I don't think
it was like
happened
my
with me.
brother got chickenpox, and all the rest of us were like, rub your faces together, hang out.
Right.
All
No,
you get chickenpox.
The parents tried to get you all to get
Oh, yeah, all
chickenpox?
four of us
Apparently,
had
it's much
chickenpox
worse
at
if you
the
get
same
it as
time.
an adult for the first time. So.
Oh, they say. I remember getting chickenpox, and I remember my lips scabbing up and just ripping off flesh and skin.
Wow.
And, yeah, it was
It was
awful.
really bad for you.
Jeez.
Maybe that
Did
was
you
the
and some
measles.
friends gang up on like a couple trapped in a farmhouse and just try to like get in through the windows? So like you guys haven't done this with your own children?
No.
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 It sounds about as effective as vaccination.
Yeah.
Right?
Going down that road.
Oh, gosh.
I guess that's a topic we should probably leave
No.
because it
Yeah.
inspires some.
It does. But I mean, really,
We don't
you
want
should
to-
vaccinate your kids here.
Yes, I think we're all in
let's-
agreement.
Let's
We are
You
sorry,
vaccinate your cat,
Carmen
right?
Electra. We apologize.
Do you vaccinate your cat?
We got him a rabies shot. Did you
What
get
a-
your children rabies shots?
Yes, of course.
if necessary.
Really?
What? Well, when they got bit by that bat.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You leave a baby out like 2 minutes later, it's going to get bit by a bat. It's a no-brainer. Yeah, he's got his rabies shot, but it's expensive, so we don't really
Yeah.
bother anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
The
like how long is he going to live?
Yeah. that's
Right?
true.
Did you vaccinate your Sims? Maybe that's a better question.
No,
It's not an option. Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, I got a computer virus
Yeah.
from Napster back in the day,
Yeah.
so
Napster.
I mean that's kind of like that'll affect them, I guess.
Yeah.
We're off topic here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Children and Napster have nothing to do with.
You should have like a little baby jumper for your kid when they're sleeping and call it Napster. Have a little
There you
Napster written on the jumper.
With the logo.
Yeah.
If we are going back to thinking about the things that were really cool for kids to play with, I remember my kids loving the jumper.
Yeah.
thing
Oh,
that
the
you would
jumper.
hang between
Yeah. The Jolly Jumper.
2 doors.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You'd put that thing in there, and man, oh man,
Do you ever
They
pull the
loved
jumper
it.
down while the kid is in it as far as it'll go and then
Just
let
to
it go?
Snap it like a
Yeah.
slingshot.
Just let it
Just
go.
give them a real thrill.
Oh, we did it all the time.
You do that with the nephew and
We
the
named
nieces.
them at the couch to make sure it was safe.
Oh,
yeah.
But
Yeah.
sofa.
That's
couch.
good parenting, I bet.
Yeah.
Chesterfield. We didn't have one that went in the door. We had one that was like freestanding, and so I would like find entertainment by taking my oldest son and putting him over different surfaces.
Yeah.
Like he would jump in the tile, then I move it to the grass. He'd jump in the grass. Then I put like tin foil underneath his feet. He did not care for that. That scared the heck out of him. And then we would try like I put him on the top of a swimming pool, and he'd jump on like the little paddling pool. He was a big fan of that one.
I like it because it's kind of like early deaf sports.
Yeah.
You know, bungee jumping for kids.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be funny to have like a jumper that's kind of just over a chasm of some sort. You know, dig a hole in like the backyard and
Yeah.
hang it from a tree.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like there should be adult jumpers. Like I would be a lot more productive if I could
Yeah.
just jump during the day. You
well, I
know?
mean,
There's another
trampolines
pitch.
kind of
Yeah.
serve the
That's another
purpose.
bit, and we
Yeah.
need an adult jumper.
but like when you're in that jumper, you don't really have to think. Like you're suspended. You just like
I don't know
bounce up
though.
and down. You know.
I'm looking over at Trevor's doorway, and it looks. What's a standard doorway height?
Taller than me.
It's got to be 7 feet.
Yeah, you
I'd say about
definitely
seven.
need some.
7.5 feet.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You need
put
something
a
with more
jumper
height.
on there. It's not going to work.
Yeah, you need
mean,
like
you're gonna
into the
get-
beams of the roof
I
or
might
the
be
floor.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
You need something for the roof.
Mhm.
you guys are definitely not going to be okay. You're
No.
going to get hurt.
Yeah,
I think a
that's true.
trampoline serves its purpose.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Hmm.
I mean, you don't have some like piece of fabric digging into your crotch when you do it, but trampolines cause you to jump.
That's great.
Did you ever have trouble getting your kids friends? Or dealing with friends of your kids? I know my 4-year-old, his like introduction is like
Your kids have friends?
I bet you can't do this.
Oh.
This is like how he introduces
Right.
himself to people. Or he'll give a compliment like, that wasn't as good as me, but that was okay. Like this is what he'll say to people. I'm
I
trying to
know
educate
adults
him like,
do that.
this is not how you're going to get friends, man.
Well, 4-year-olds are very self-centered.
This is true.
And the great thing is that the other 4-year-old that your kid is talking to is equally self-centered
That's true.
and doesn't notice that kid is doing that to him.
That's
So
true.
They're both just trying to impress each other with that they can do.
Well, pretty good.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
You know what? I think it's time, guys,
Yeah.
for our shameless plug.
Oh, fantastic. We're waiting all
So-
day for this.
Yes. Well, we'll take our break now to do our shameless plug.
I really support these guys.
It's exciting, guys.
What?
We have a new sponsor on board.
Yep.
Schuster's Supplements.
Oh,
So
God.
excited about Schuster's.
And they have been super gracious. They've been digging what we're doing.
Yep.
And they have come on board full throttle. I don't know if that's the right term, but
I think so.
They are jacked up about us.
they are totally jacked up.
All right.
And what do we have here? They've actually shipped us a bunch of product.
Yeah. It's brand new.
We've got this thing called Life Powder from Schuster's Supplements.
Yeah, it sounds
Yes.
fancy, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm excited to try this
Sounds
out.
holistic.
Like,
Yeah, it
so
does sound holistic. Yeah, I like
so
this.
what the directions here
What
say,
does it say?
this is for revitalizing you, for giving you that energy that you need in the day just to get by.
Okay.
So we've got a big canister of the stuff here,
Okay.
and I'm gonna take the top off here, and
Yep.
let's take a look at what we've got. This is
Yeah.
like an unboxing.
Don't take your
this
top
is like
off.
a-
Okay,
like a-
well, no, I won't do that yet.
No.
We'll see what
We'll
the
see how
stuff
the powder
does,
goes,
right? Okay, so
If this stuff gets rid of crow's feet, I'm sold.
I'm taking it off here. Okay, we have
Oh,
a
it
powder.
says one of the ingredients is crow's feet.
That's
weird.
okay. Ground up, you know.
Just gonna pass this around so you guys can
Okay.
take a good whiff of this
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
we mix this
Yeah.
up. So give it a go here.
Okay. Oh,
Okay.
It's pungent.
That's
I'm
rich.
not
strong.
trying to describe that. Yeah.
that takes you off guard, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The the slightly grayish brown
Yeah.
color.
That's
Yeah.
like a color I don't
appealing.
even have a word
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
Getting a little bit of licorice in it, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Licorice?
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so
maybe
it
not.
says ingredient. Basically, you can use this up to 2 to 3 times a day,
Okay.
Uh-huh.
and you just mix it in with your water or drink of choice.
Okay. You don't inhale it.
3 tablespoons.
Okay,
No,
mix
not
it.
inhaling.
Mix
it says actually that's on the warning there. It says do not inhale.
Good thing you read that because that's the first thing I would have thought.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's you guys all have your glass there.
Yep. We got a glass.
Put it about 2/3 full of water here.
Okay.
Okay, and then I'm just gonna pour in give you your couple teaspoons here
Yep.
of Schuster supplements.
Teaspoons or tablespoons?
Tablespoons,
Okay.
I believe. Sorry, I wasn't reading.
Take
the
it up a notch
directions.
then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
give me
go
a little
up.
more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There we
Okay.
go.
Okay.
I'm not
mix it.
driving.
Stir
I'm gonna
that.
mix
Stir
it.
that in there.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And
Got
let's give it a go.
All right. Cheers.
Okay.
All right.
yeah.
Cheers to you guys. Here's
Clicks.
to feeling healthier right away.
Feeling health.
Life
Salute
powder.
to health.
Yeah.
That's
That's
It's strong.
I have never
It's,
tasted something like that, but I feel good.
I am feeling it.
Yeah.
It is great.
I'm still getting mine down.
You gotta finish a little bit
You're
here.
gonna go for another sip. Okay. Well.
Okay. Okay.
I just went. This went the wrong tube there.
Okay. It's kind of
Okay.
like
Wow.
Buckley. It's like Buckley's a little
Yeah.
bit.
A little bit, but
Yeah.
I feel I'm starting to feel revitalized.
Yeah,
Actually,
I do
I'm
feel
feeling.
better.
Yeah. I don't know if I
Well,
want to.
I think I can jump higher.
they say
Yeah.
there's a whole bunch of things here that this is great for. Renewed
Okay.
energy,
Yep.
sex drive.
Yeah.
Well. Yeah.
Are you feeling it?
I'm feeling
Renewed energy.
I'm feeling
not,
something.
Not with it.
Do you guys feel like hot inside?
Yeah, a little bit like whiskey, maybe.
Yeah,
if you have a little
like
shot of
warm,
whiskey,
yeah.
It's
you
getting pretty
like-
hot inside your blood.
Well, here, let
I
me
don't
feel
know.
your forehead.
Okay.
Let me feel your forehead.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it
Wow.
warm?
You feel mine. Just
You are radiating heat like
Okay.
a space heater.
okay.
Okay, that's strange.
Do your veins hurt?
No, but my heart is beating. This is probably part of the renewed
This is
energy.
it's purging old stuff, the toxins.
Whoa.
What?
You there's
What?
just grab a tissue. Grab a
Okay.
tissue.
Oh,
Trevor.
yeah, I'm noticing that too. Okay.
What? Oh, that's
It's got a
a-
little bit of blood, little nosebleed.
Little
That's-
nosebleed.
that's-
Probably the dry air.
Yeah,
I
it's
would
just
think.
dry.
So
and
it's cooler out
Yeah.
today. So
Well, that's really
Ooh.
gushing. Why do you look so sweaty all of a sudden, Derek?
I think it's probably just like purging out that bad stuff. It's purging out my old.
You are going to be
So-
super healthy with how much you're sweating.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a new shirt. to
If
finish
you
this
have
episode.
a long day,
Yeah.
you're at work all day, you need the Schuster Supplements
Yeah.
Life Powder.
And it's so easy once you finally get it down.
You don't even need to eat. You could
No.
just be eating this.
I don't want to eat.
You got a busy afternoon coming up.
I don't.
Oh gosh, you okay?
It's got a frog in his throat.
Oh gosh.
You need this Lou Schuster's Life Powder
Yeah.
to keep you going.
Yeah,
I don't know
this
how I
is the
lived without
energy.
this stuff.
If you got a busy meeting this afternoon, skip lunch, have that Schuster's Life powder, and
Okay.
it's gonna help you out.
You got some spotting.
That's okay. That's
Cloth.
just minor
Tissue.
stuff.
The energy you're going to get from this product is it's amazing. I feel
Life Powder by Schuster's is I just
oh my god.
oh god.
You all right? Okay. Oh, you take. Yeah, I'll take it. I feel like I'm full of energy. Oh, I don't even feel like I need to eat. Jesus. I feel like I don't know how I made it through a day without this stuff before.
I'm back.
It's got kind of a poultry aftertaste, which is not bad. I mean, it's not a cooked poultry.
It's tasting really.
Okay, well,
Jeez.
it's got. And we're back.
Okay.
Thanks, Schuster Supplements.
Yeah.
It's,
That was something.
It was an experience.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just to clarify here. We shortly after we recorded that little commercial, we all came down with the flu.
Yeah,
so
incidentally.
A bout of illness there.
Yeah,
So
there's
you
a lot
might-
of stuff.
if you
a
notice
virus.
any difference in production or mic levels or
Yeah.
anything like that, it's just because we had to pick up here. It's a week later,
Yeah.
and we're all feeling a lot better now.
You guys look a lot better.
Yeah,
it was
I know,
a rough
like,
couple days
you,
there, but
Yeah. You
That
got into
darn-
the
darn
the ER real quick.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's amazing.
But yeah, thanks to Schuster's supplements life powder there.
Yeah,
It's a life changer.
And I know
Life-changing.
I'm going to
Yeah.
continue doing that. The doctor said
Yeah.
maybe in a couple of weeks I could
be ready to go again.
give it a go. And
Special
try that
thanks to
again.
the local hospital though for all of that
Yeah.
quick.
I'm surprised.
quick service.
Yeah, for sure. Kudos to them. I'm surprised how well it even worked with how much you guys were vomiting that last time.
I think it just went straight to the veins and
Yeah.
got in there. I
It's
still feel.
Yeah.
Once the vomiting passed, I feel a lot better.
Well,
It's
maybe if we had been taking the Schuster's life powder before,
that would
you wouldn't have gotten sick.
And
No,
that's
exactly.
the problem. It
Yeah.
was too late. We
Exactly.
already had the flu.
You already had the sickness.
We just coincidentally happened to take it, but
Yeah.
keep on sending the money, Schuster's. Keep on sending the free product.
Oh, and as an added
And,
bonus,
yeah.
the good people at Schuster's, they're actually going to be including a free life tarp with
Oh.
every product purchase.
Excellent.
Yeah, to put on your floor.
Yep. Just Life Tarp 19. Just put that in at schustersupplements.com.
That's right.
Awesome. Cool. Let's keep going.
All right. So we, I think about a week ago, we were talking about toddlers, and
Yeah.
we were actually now we're getting into those early school years. Into the
Time
middle school.
passes
golden
quickly.
years.
Okay.
Your kid has been going along, and they get into school, and then
Hopefully.
it's that's what you
The Sims
that you would
never
hope
made it
for.
there.
Well, yours didn't because you were constantly tickling them.
But
Yeah.
And then the house burns down.
Yeah.
They don't go to
It's
school.
tough.
What about bullying? Have you guys had to deal with that?
Yes.
I mean, like,
Yes, I have.
you've been a bully, or
I have been a bully briefly. I have
Mm-hmm.
been bullied. The cat, he's been bullied.
Okay. And how'd you deal with that?
Well, I watched as we brought a pug over and he bullied the cat a bit.
Ah.
But then this happened. If you don't intervene, your cat will punch a dog in the face
Wow.
twice, like pat,
Yeah.
right on the nose.
And were the parents of the dog there, or not the parents, but at least the owners of the dog there?
Yeah, and we all had a good laugh.
Mhm.
But it
I mean,
turns
some dog
out
owners
if
call
you don't
themselves parents.
intervene, your kid will just handle the bullying if it's a cat.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I've heard two sides of this. I've heard of people who are telling their kids, like, if someone gives you a hard time, you just punch them in the face. They're going to leave you alone.
Sure.
We will back you up. And other people who say, like, violence is not the answer. So I mean, I haven't got there yet. I mean, do you have any advice there, Al, of how to navigate this part?
No. I don't. It's a very, very tricky business.
Yeah.
And I think what you do need to do is make your kids resilient. And if you do that and you understand that, you know what? People are cruel.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are going to say nasty things.
Don't let your kid go to school if his shirt's tucked into his pants.
Yeah, exactly.
What about dress shirts?
Well, I mean, if your kid's wearing a dress shirt, you got a whole nother layer.
Picture day, maybe.
Your kid's the one showing up at kindergarten the first day of a dress shirt.
One way of dealing with this would be if we could develop some sort of large, like, automaton or a droid that would accompany your child to school with you.
Yeah.
And then would beat the living out of anyone who made fun of them in any way.
Right, kind of like
punch.
it's kind of like that one that would break down doors.
Yeah, like a door droid, but this is a bully droid.
Maybe
a bully
just
droid.
retrofit the door droid and become the nanny.
You could
droid.
just
And it would say bullying detected.
Yeah.
And then it would just beat the living
Good
within
idea.
an inch of that person's life.
So you're advocating for a robot that assaults children.
Right. Yeah. I mean, basically.
You could
I think that's a terrible idea.
You could install that, in various public spaces in schools, and just having that around, it could just, bullying
Every
detected.
kid has their own.
Every kid has their own.
In case of emergency, break glass.
So would the bully have their own as well, and then they could would it be like an assistant to the bully? It would help bullying, or
no, you'd have robot warfare. It'd just be all out warfare. You'd have these kids, but then maybe that's a good thing. You have the robots bullying the other robots. And the kids don't have to
deal with it.
Would there be robot counselors for the bullied robots?
Only for the robots, not for the children.
Yeah.
It's a whole robot world.
Yeah.
And kids are strapped into their chairs. They never leave their classroom. They've just got a virtual headset on.
And robot principal, robot teacher, robot parent meetings. Yeah.
There's a lot of AI, a lot of robots happening.
Jeez.
Oh, man, I think this is fantastic.
Okay.
We've solved the whole problem.
That's one. Well, I don't know if we solved it, but that's definitely an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, we're jumping a fair bit ahead here, but your kids hit puberty.
Oh, yeah.
And, I have boys and you have boys, so
my cat
we
had
have
boys.
no experience with females whatsoever.
No, I find once your kid becomes real frisky, in my experience, you take him to the vet.
Yeah.
And they remove his reproductive organs.
Right.
And that problem's done with.
Okay.
Well,
they're not wanting to cross the street after that.
With cats or Sims, maybe.
I don't know if that's much of a human thing, but that's
Yeah. I don't know.
Everyone's got their own solution.
Well, I think there's a few things, and one is having tissue available to your children.
Do you get disgusted by your own children's acne, Al?
Yeah, totally disgusted.
Yeah. Do they ever have one that's just out of control and you can't even make eye contact with them?
No, in some cases I would just avoid coming home.
It's like an Austin Powers
Just
kind of
rent a
moment where
hotel room so
moly,
you don't
moly, but
that'd be hard.
Maybe if you had a droid for dealing with all of these things, the droid could have the talk about puberty and about masturbating. It's normal. Don't worry about it. Here's some tissue.
Okay, so
I got a question.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Is there a moment where you're just hanging out with your kid and it's around that puberty phase and all of a sudden their voice just changes suddenly and it's like The Exorcist, terrifies you? Did that happen all at once or is it a gradual?
I don't recall. I think that you'll get that crack.
Let's go to the store.
Yeah, which is quite humorous when they go from the high to the low and then it goes back.
Awesome.
Yeah, but so I would just do it as well so that it wouldn't seem like it was that big of a deal.
Yeah.
So they could,
Okay, so here's something that, when I was a kid, my dad was definitely 100% good cop, and my mom was 100% bad cop.
Oh, yeah.
Is this like a dichotomy that still exists? My mom would be hard hammer, and my dad would come in if he was the hard hammer, 5 minutes later he would come in and be like, it's okay, don't worry about it. My grandmother
that sounds
used
very
to
bad cop.
My grandmother used to chase us around with a spoon.
Wow.
She was old school.
Yeah, dementia's a hell of a thing.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Did you play good cop, bad cop?
I think that I, for the most part, played good cop, but we would switch it up sometimes.
Yeah.
Like my wife doesn't have the strength that I have, so if ever a kid was especially when they were younger, was throwing a tantrum, and you need to pick that kid up and put them in their room, then suddenly I'm bad cop.
You're bad,
yeah. But for the most part, I think it was actually the opposite way.
Yeah.
My wife was good at playing the heavy.
My parents, my dad had a bit of a lisp, and my mom was just hyper. So I had incoherent and Pekingese mom. Incoherent cop, Pekingese cop. Yeah. Incoherent cop, sporadic cop.
Right.
So you didn't know what was going to happen.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
Can you recall an incident? Sorry, can you recall an incident as a child where you felt like you screwed up the most ever? Like you were so concerned about what your parents were going to think about what you had done.
I have 2 incidents where I recall this that are like stuck in my memory.
Yeah.
One was I was in grade 3, and I'd sat on this bike outside, and it was like chained up on the fence, and it was a really cool bike, and I sat on it, and it had like a license plate because it was the 90s, and that was a cool thing, put a license plate on your bike, and the license plate fell off, and the teacher pulled me into the principal's office because I was vandalizing. And
you stole license plates.
No, it fell off, and so I broke this kid's bike. So grade 3 me sat in the principal's office, who looks eerily like Santa Claus, and he asks me like, "Do you want me to call the police, or do you want me to call your parents?" And I said,
"Oh my!"
And I said like, "I want you to call the police," because in my grade 3 head, I was like, it's better for me to deal with the cops than deal with my mom, who's going to be at home.
Yeah.
And I remember he called my mom, and I lived about.
So that was just an empty threat.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was probably just, now that I'm older, I think like he definitely wasn't going to call the police. But that 5-minute walk to my house after school took me like, an hour to walk home. And I have this memory of like coming around the corner, my mom being in the garage, not the garage door open, but the garage door closed, looking through that glass window of the garage, just staring at me as I made like the death march home to figure out what was going to happen. That was terrifying. That was like, my mom wasn't my friend. She was there to like lay the hammer down. So
yeah, exactly. Well, I was a little bit older. I remember being 14 years old, and my parents, we had a kind of a family campsite, and many of my aunts and uncles were up there.
Yeah.
But my parents couldn't stay for the weekend. We had a 5th-wheel trailer, and it was on the lot. Mm-hmm. And they said, "Well, you can stay if you want to play with your cousins for the weekend."
Mm-hmm.
And we stole all the vodka and all of the beer and all of the alcohol that was on site from various aunts and uncles.
Oh my gosh.
And we tied one on for the very first time in my parents' trailer.
Wow.
Of course, not being very resistant to alcohol at that point, we all threw up in various fixtures, including the sink, the toilet. It was an absolute disaster.
In a trailer.
The toilet, sorry, not the toilet. The trailer smelled like ass.
Well, the trailer was a toilet.
It was awful.
How did your parents deal with that?
Well, I wanted to desperately hide it from my parents. So we managed to get into town the next day. We bought cans and cans of Lysol. I cleaned that thing that's how I learned how to clean a toilet, actually. And I cleaned that thing like you wouldn't believe. And I assumed that my parents never knew about it, but they did.
Wow.
Yeah.
They just never addressed it.
Right.
And
they just left it.
They realized that I'd learned my lesson.
Right.
Yeah.
And they left it at that. So
pretty smart.
That was scary.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I've never been more scared of my parents than at that point. Should we talk about birthday parties?
Oh my.
What to do? How to make them exciting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys ever get a clown?
No.
I think, the day of the clown has passed.
No. It is very popular right now.
Clowns are a really good idea.
I know my kid loves balloon animals, so maybe if there's a balloon animal clown, but other than that, no, I don't think so. Like, "Hi guys," like I don't think that would fly.
Oh, that's a terrifying voice.
We see the episode of The Simpsons where Homer has made a headboard clown for Bart. It just doesn't go over anymore. Clowns are outdated. No,
nothing.
Oh man, I tell you, mimes. When I was a 4-year-old, 5-year-old child, nothing scared me more than a mime.
I'm going to go test this at home, I think.
In Canada, we have this television show called Mr. Dress Up.
Yeah.
We had it. Yeah.
There was a mime on there.
There was a
mime. I believe his name was Poco.
Oh my.
And he would come on and do his thing, and it was supposed to be fun. I remember having nightmares for years of waking up in my bed and looking out at the doorway and seeing Poco just peeking around the corner, looking at me and not saying anything. Absolutely terrified, frozen in fear.
Wow.
Next time we meet up,
yes,
you're going to arrive and I'm going to be dressed like Poco.
If you do, I will punch you.
It'll be worth it just to see the look on your face.
Okay, so arguably, I mean, I haven't been there yet, but I'm thinking like the hardest time is probably, I mean, toddler is rough, but I'm feeling like teen years are equally rough.
Trying to have a birthday party for those teens would be rough.
Yeah.
It's not easy. That's for sure.
So one thing that is in my mind, we talked about our own experiences, is like my mom talking about smoking. I wasn't involved. I wasn't like drinking and smoking in the RV, when I was growing up, but I have this vivid memory of my mom saying, if I ever catch you, if I find out that you're smoking, we're going to sit at the kitchen table and you're going to smoke an entire carton of cigarettes, you and I sitting together, and
No
you're going to
filters?
keep smoking it until you throw up and then start again. And
Wow.
I was
Isn't that
terrified.
really going to actually just further the addiction?
Well, I was terrified. I was like, that sounds horrible. I'm never going to smoke, and I've
Yeah.
never had a cigarette.
Yeah.
Would you do the same thing for any drug? Like, okay, well, you're really into cocaine.
We're going to cut a bunch of lines, and you're going to sniff that shit
I'm going to
until
push you through a
pass out.
snowbank.
I don't know. We never got that far, but that was my mom's attempt. So I don't know, Al. I'm interested to see if you have any insight.
Yeah, your kids
into
ever
that
dabble
area.
with the tobacco?
With the tobacco,
Yeah.
my kids had no interest. I have nothing to add
And
here.
did you guide them in that way to make sure they didn't have an interest, or?
Gosh, I feel so clueless. I think
Here's what
obviously I must have been a useless parent, and my wife must have done most of this because I can't recall that there was ever an issue that we ever had to worry about it. So
What
They just
if you
generally
just,
strayed from it.
yeah, I mean,
That's
I think
good.
it happened years ago because we were goddamn good parents from the beginning.
Yeah.
Well,
We never had to worry about the smoking.
smoking costs money, so if
It
your kids
does.
have no money,
That's
how do they
true.
get the smokes? Like, I mean, you can bum a few smokes off people, but
Right.
not enough to form a serious habit. So
That's true.
if you just deprive your children of the opportunities to make money, right?
Mm.
Like, just call places that they've applied to for jobs and just provide terrible references for them and say, do not hire this person.
Exactly. So
Just-
just keep them
Poor.
basically unskilled.
Yeah.
If you can keep your kids unskilled and unemployable,
Yeah.
you can prevent them from smoking.
Can't afford them.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay. Well, there we have that. There's
Okay.
a solution right there,
Yeah,
parents.
okay.
Try that
You
out.
can't stop them from vaping, so don't try.
No.
Mm.
I mean,
'Cause
they're
it's-
going to hide that. You're
it-
going to have like cinnamon, like vaped cinnamon bun in your pocket.
Yeah.
You can pull it out any time. You can put it back in there. You have no idea.
No,
Yeah.
that's a losing battle, so just
Yeah.
give up now.
Yeah.
What about when your kid wants to start dating in their teens? Is that a risky business? Like, is that hard to handle?
You gotta let them do it. You
Gotta let
gotta
'em do
let them try. You gotta have the talk.
Yeah.
I
Mm.
mean, you can't just let them charge ahead there. And
Yeah.
you got teenagers. Like, that's why I say always supply a lot of tissue
Yeah. Whoa.
and have the
For
chat.
crying.
Yeah,
And
for
having
crying
crying
and
Relationships are
anything that
Yeah,
dehydrates you,
relationships
really.
are hard.
hard.
That's
It seems like every popular teen romance movie is always based on like defiance of older people.
right.
Yeah.
So you probably just want to let say
Like
you,
Footloose.
Yeah. Maybe if you actually encourage
That's
the
what was
dating,
in my
it'll
head
turn them
too.
off.
Footloose went is the first thing I thought of too.
Yeah.
Well, Kevin Bacon was probably like almost 30 when he was playing the teen in that role.
I was thinking
Right.
more like Leonardo DiCaprio, Claire Danes' version of Romeo and Juliet.
Mm,
But-
true.
I had more
True. Classic
Leonardo
tale.
DiCaprio, Who's Eating Gilbert Grape in my head.
Oh.
But
Okay.
The important thing is both are thinking Leo. you
Yeah.
know?
Both think about Leonardo
Okay, keep
DiCaprio at any given moment during
Yeah.
the day. Yeah. Yeah, dating would be tricky just to see like your kid with like some dirtbag, you know?
Mhm.
Imagine that'd be harder than them hanging out with undesirable friends, but
Mm.
I guess if you say no, they're just going to want to do it more.
The best parents will shut their mouths and
Yeah.
hope that their kids will get through that
Mhm.
stuff.
If you raised them right, I
If you
guess.
parented them, they may be infatuated by someone that you don't really want them to be with for a minute, but usually they'll figure it out.
Can
That's
you
been
put
my experience.
landmines in your lawn just in case like kids are trying
Landmines to like blow up any date that happens to come along, or
Sure.
what?
If they're like trying to Dawson's Creek through the window kind of thing.
Sounds horrifying.
Well, you could. I guess
All
you
right.
could just oil up your roof in case they are trying to climb in through the window. Well, what about like I find it hard just to talk to some teenagers. How do you guys like bond with your kids? Like, how do you keep it real?
Derek hasn't been through this, but
No.
there comes a time where your kids don't really want to talk to you.
Really?
Mm.
That's true.
It's got to hurt.
They want to watch the YouTubes.
Yeah, the YouTube. Jeez.
My
They
cat loves me.
They want to play the Fortnite.
Yeah.
And they don't really need you or want you, and that can be kind of hard.
As soon as you put the in front of anything,
Right.
it sounds like you're an old person.
That's true.
Yeah,
I'm going to go to Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in like the dream stage right now where it's like 4 and almost 5 and almost 2 is like,
You children
I'm still
worship
kind
you.
of a hero, you know. I
You're
can
not
do
just a
whatever I
hero.
want.
You're not just a hero.
If you
You're a
make
god.
Like I show up after work, and my kids are like, "Dad!" and they run to me and they jump hug,
Yeah.
and we're like, we could film it in
You're the
slow
rock
motion,
to
and
them.
it'd be awesome. But yeah, there's going to be a time when that's not going to happen. You know,
Can't fart and be
feel like-
Jim Carrey to your
No.
kids.
No,
Yeah,
exactly.
So
Well, what do you do then?
I don't have the answers. I don't know that my wife must have done it.
Yeah.
But I think you let them be teenagers for a few years. You give them their space.
yeah,
And that's why parenting starts at day one. You can't
Right.
just suddenly say, you know what? I'm going to be slack with my kids. I'm going to pick this up at the age of, let's say, 13.
great,
No, it doesn't work that way. You got to start from day one.
Right.
And
I
that's-
think that's stupid advice. I think everyone loves impressions. So I think if you can learn to do a lot of cool impressions, your kids will just still worship you into their teens.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
hey, Dad, do a good Kevin Spacey right now.
Yeah.
And you do that's not a good example, but Christopher Walken,
Right. Yeah.
And then I think they'd want you to be around them and their friends. Like, oh, yeah, I'll come to your house party. Can I bring my dad?
Except
Yeah.
the teenagers don't know who Christopher Walken is.
Oh,
so
I think they do.
You're going to need to do an impression of PewDiePie or something.
Okay. My mom does a sweet Zac Efron. Can I bring her to
Wow.
the party? Or PewDiePie, sure.
Yeah.
I have no clue who PewDiePie is.
If you become a
so that's-
YouTuber, then I think that kids would want to hang out with you.
Or one solution to connecting with your teens when they're in
Podcast.
their teens is to actually get your own YouTube channel and then give them advice through that.
Talk to them through
Right.
their computer.
Right.
and
Right,
devices.
right.
That's
you
smart.
could say, "Hi, my child. If you want to hit on like and subscribe,
Yeah. I'd love to keep being your parent.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, like a digital parenting.
I'll see you at
Good way
supper
to
time.
connect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get some hits there.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, yeah. YouTube your children. That makes sense. It's not a bad idea. What about illegal street racing? That seems to be pretty popular in the Fast and the Furious movies.
I think there's certain ways if you break the law where you could really bond with
A
your
rebel
children.
dad.
Yeah.
You do
Yeah,
it
exactly.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is our little secret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe you
Right.
take a secret to the grave together. You're bonded.
Right.
Sure. That makes sense to me.
All very good advice. And,
Or you
know,
could
it's-
literally sew yourself to your child. I
You
guess.
could.
You could get like a sleazy surgeon to graft you to your child
You could.
if you're really one of those umbrella parents.
Yeah.
What's quite surprising to me, Trevor, is given the vast experience that I have and that Derek has,
Okay.
you've actually come up with some pretty solid pitches here.
Well, it's not hard.
Seems
I mean,
like you have something to contribute to the conversation.
I think so. This parenting thing is probably pretty easy if you just take a moment to think about it.
And I think what we should do is maybe we should capitalize on that advice that
Yeah.
you've been giving with a section we're going to call "What Do You Do Hotshot?"
I like this idea. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited about this.
We're going to ask you about a specific parenting question or
Okay.
a calamity.
Doesn't sound
and
hard.
you have to come up with the solution.
Okay.
What do you do, hotshot?
What do you do, hotshot?
You might want to get
Yeah.
a pen and paper ready to write some of
All
these
right.
down.
Okay.
Parents out there who are listening to this,
Okay.
put down that container of Schuster Supplements Life Powder
Yeah.
and
For a moment.
just for a moment,
Yeah,
right? While
yeah.
we're doing this,
Yeah. Take some notes.
definitely revitalize yourself when we're done.
Yeah.
But take some notes.
Yeah.
So Trevor's got a lot to say
You're going
here.
to get some pearls.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my question for you. So there's like I think dads are underestimated in today's society, right? Like moms are, like they do the work, and dads are like the
Based on every court
jokesters,
trial
right?
I've seen, sure.
And so so you've convinced your wife, she should go out for a night. You can parent. You got this,
Right.
Okay. You pick up the kids from daycare. You get home, like 5 minutes into you being home, one kid has slammed the other into the ground. The older kid slammed the younger kid into the ground. The older kid's kid's crying because he did something wrong. The younger kid's crying. You pick him up to console you, and his just blood is streaming out of his face. And now it's like running all over your dress shirt. This was my Thursday night. What do you do, Hotshot?
I'm sorry, what? If my kid's face is bleeding?
Yeah, you got one kid screaming, you got one kid bleeding all over the place, and your wife has entrusted you and said, okay, I'll go out finally for a night. You're in charge. How do you deal with this?
What do you do, Hotshot?
Okay. In the event that I've accepted responsibility for children and one's face is bleeding, what do I do?
Yeah.
Well, I think at that point it's bath time.
Okay.
That's just like the first thing that comes to my mind.
Okay.
Wash them up.
Yeah.
And then Band-Aid them.
Mm-hmm.
But then you got the problem of your kid's face is now covered with Band-Aids when your wife comes home, and you got to explain that.
So you got to come up with excuses.
The one that's screaming and the one that's Band-Aided up, you can solve both those problems by putting on a stream of Nelly videos on YouTube.
Okay.
And then you tell the kids, let's all be Nelly. And they get into it. And when the wife comes home, you said, oh, those Band-Aids are a fashion statement because we were watching, 90s, early 2000s Nelly videos, and the kids wanted to play Nelly. So they're not hurt.
Yeah.
They're just wearing the Band-Aid for street cred.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so this is more not so much about parenting, but more about how you can deceive your wife.
Well, I think that's part of parenting.
Right.
I'm not a parent, but I imagine that's a huge chunk of it.
Al,
right?
you got some questions over there for this Hotshot?
We'll give him one more.
Okay, one more. Yeah.
What do you do, Hotshot?
Yeah, one more. What do you do, Hotshot?
All right, you're a cop.
Ooh.
And you're working in Miami, Florida.
Nice.
All right.
Okay.
And you don't have any children of your own.
Right.
But one day you come across this like deadbeat mom, and she's accidentally killed, and she leaves her little 3-year-old child orphaned.
Yeah.
So you secretly adopt this child.
Right.
And you realize as you're raising this child that he's got a penchant for like killing animals, and he just seems to get like a real like sick kind of pleasure out of killing
like
things.
Kind of an HBO thing.
Well, more of a Showtime.
Oh.
It's Dexter.
Yeah, okay.
But,
I see. You're ripping something off.
Okay. So he's killing animals, and you realize this guy, like, if I don't do something, he might be a serial killer.
Yeah.
How are you going to deal with this? What do you do, Hotshot?
Well, I mean, the show itself offered some solutions there.
Well, I want your solution, though.
Well, I could go the expected route and kind of steer him towards improving society by taking out villains, like in the show. But I think that if a kid already shows a proclivity?
Yes, proclivity is the right word.
Yeah. If they're already steered towards violence, then you get the current Mortal Kombat for PlayStation or Xbox, and you stock up some Call of Duty games.
Yeah.
And you go to bed and say, this is your night, and let them shoot it up.
I was gonna say, like, make him join lacrosse or something.
Yeah, lacrosse, judo,
Yeah.
but mostly take that aggression out on pixels, harmless pixels.
Yeah, maybe that's something that should have been done in the actual Dexter television series. Is he should have had him join lacrosse?
Yeah,
That series would have been short and boring.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah, you're playing lacrosse now.
Okay. Oh,
And
well,
rugby.
we sorted this out.
Yeah.
So
Contact sport and video games.
obviously, if you want to tweet out your advice.
Parenting
to Trevor,
advice. Yeah.
Parent. If you need some advice on how to parent, it seems like Trevor's got a really good handle on this.
Kid guru.
Just use the hashtag What Do You Do Hotshot.
What do you do, Hotshot?
And tweet it out to @PitchGuys.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of Twitter, it's about that time. We're wrapping up our episode here. It was a really interesting one, definitely. We've all brought something different to the table, and yay us.
Excellent.
So it's that time. We've been getting quite a bit of feedback. It's really exciting as Pitch Guys is now in our 12th episode, and people are really catching on to it. I know that our Twitter mailbag, if you would call it that, has been just lit on
Lit up.
fire.
Mailbag, Twitter
So
mailbag.
it's time for us to go to the Twitter mailbag.
Okay, let's just check this out.
All right.
Derek,
So, Derek, you got it.
Start with just like the most prominent ones. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm just
Probably too many to
just looking through here,
rip through.
and that's weird. There's nothing there.
Like you deleted?
No,
You delete a tweet?
no, it's just empty this week.
Well,
What?
How many followers do we have?
Definitely a few. I mean, I can't speak to
Few hundred or
exact numbers at
1,000?
this moment, but
Okay.
more than a handful.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
more than 4? I can
Maybe,
hold-
maybe more people should follow us.
Okay, so what's the Twitter handle
We're
again?
looking for @PitchGuys.
Okay, well,
This is a
I guess
real-
maybe it's time for you guys who are listening to actually do your job out there.
Yeah, maybe do your part.
Yeah, maybe tweet us. Like,
Okay.
we're putting a lot of time and energy into this.
Yeah.
And what are they doing? We're not even getting any tweets from them.
No,
Jeez.
you guys are away from your kids for this.
Send us some tweets. And especially with that what do you do hotshot tag. I mean, I'm thinking next time we're going to have a lot of tweets to answer.
That's going to be the whole episode, likely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, our time is up. Thanks so much for tuning in and supporting our podcast. If you like what we're doing, please spread the good word and share a podcast with your friends and family. You can find us on Twitter @PitchGuys and Facebook @PitchGuys Podcast. Rate and review us in iTunes, and you may hear it on a future episode. Music for Pitch Guys is Aces High by Kevin MacLeod. We'll see you next time for lucky episode 13.